morning, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is David Okun. I have been talking about work in the United Kingdom at the moment, talking about pay in particular. If you are in the UK, if you are outside the UK, this information directly or indirectly applies to you in the UK or outside the UK, because what happens in the United Kingdom also happens abroad because of globalization, especially if you are in Europe. United Kingdom is in Europe, also similarly in America and in the Western world and in the developed world generally, because of capitalism, because of globalization, because of something called harmonization and cooperation between states, which is what underpins what globalization is about. And also learning is your responsibility in the modern world. You don't expect the government to teach you, or schools. Sometimes you are an adult or you are maybe a child with the internet and websites and all the information available, all the systems. I mean, with or without money, you can still learn one thing or another. YouTube platform is an example. Social media generally is where you can learn one thing or another. Leave a comment below if you like this program. If you don't like it, leave a comment below. Also, we are small, we are in work in progress, and thank you so much everyone who have been helping and people who have subscribed, who have been watching. And if you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, and also click notification bell, leave a comment below, watching this video, share with family and friends. And thank you so much. We will be today talking about pay in the United Kingdom in its different elements. And leave a comment below, let me know your thoughts. And also, if you watch this video, watch with the rest of the video. They are a continuation, they are connected. Let's see how it goes. And as always, and we are looking at standard hourly rates of national minimum wage in the United Kingdom. We talked about national minimum wage and national living wage as part of pay system in the UK in terms of employment, and also how they are given in the following table. There is a table if you visit gov.uk, and also Citizen Advice, a public website, and websites such as ACAS. You can go to ACAS, you can go to in terms of other aspects of information, you can go to different types of internet. And going forward, I will list some of these sources, and probably I will be able to include the links on their links on my video, because we are work in progress. So let us look at hourly rate of national minimum wage, what you get per hour, and you get from one period to another. Let's say from the 1st of April 2020, and also from the 1st of April 2021, from the 1st of April 2022, from the 1st of April 2023, from the 1st of April 2024. These are financial timetable, a financial calendar. I say, I'll leave a comment below if you know one thing or another about a financial calendar. And we talk about hourly rate of pay in terms of national minimum wage. And like I said, this is a continuation of what we have discussed, going from the other videos going forward also. So we'll talk about looking at workers age 23 or over. These are the components of how to assess different pay for different people. We'll talk about payment ranging from £8.72 going through £8.91, £9.50, £10.42 in terms of national minimum wage, and also NA 23 years and over. There are different rates of payment for different ages in the United Kingdom. Leave a comment below, let me know what you think about this policy. And my disagreement with government policy on pay is the level of pay in the United Kingdom, because the United Kingdom is the 6th richest country in the world. And I hope every government coming into power, like we had a brand new government yesterday by the Labour Party, which won by landslide, I think he has a majority of 176, which is a lot of majority. They should be able to do a lot of things to help people, because the government should have some sense of moral latitude to its policy. The work of the government is quite complicated, especially in the modern society. There are so many factors affecting politics and government, and also policy. The law is a very complex aspect of the state. So we need, in the United Kingdom, as citizens, to work with the government one way or the other. Take responsibility for your life. Be an expert on everything. If you can, you're with technology. If you can get help with or without resources, you are responsible for your life. You take responsibility for your life in terms of development, but also in terms of culture, because culture is extremely important. You have to respect yourself, respect other people also. Respect the government, respect leaders, respect life, respect the environment, respect technology, everything existing. You have to have respect for it. This is an essential part of cultural economy in the world, and also in the United Kingdom in particular. Like I said, when I speak about the United Kingdom, I have Britain on my mind. I also have the rest of the world on my mind. So stay tuned, continue watching this material, and leave a comment below. Let me know your thought. And we are a small project. We are a work in progress. And also, I believe one or the other, we are going to do very well, very fantastic thing. The Labour Party is running Britain. Is 1 day, actually 2 days old now. We are living in hope, in prospect. If politicians are good people, then we are good to go. Regardless what system of economy is, capitalism, socialism, I don't care which system you are going to implement, whether it's the market system, whether it is competitive, whether it is monopolistic. As you find in corporatization, in small and medium businesses closing down, you are having big businesses running the world. You are having technology being implemented to improve productivity, to improve performance. That is okay, as long as the people running it are humans. There are people who are so powerful, who have a lot of wealth, who are so wicked. They are psychopaths. They are quite minoritarians. They are very few. They are really, really toxic, dangerous apples, rotten to the core. They are accessing power. They behave like aliens. And the definition of aliens are people who look and sound and feel perhaps like humans, but they are monsters. That's my definition of. If I say somebody is an alien, it's easy to explain the problem associated with their culture. It means they are not humans. Aliens are not non-humans. They are predators. They are dangerous. They devour humans. They come to destroy humanity. They come to destroy the earth. Like we see in the movies, whether they are fictional or true is another matter, but they are a species of human being who have become so evil that they have changed from becoming human to worse than wild animals. They are, I give them this terminology, they are aliens. If you comment below if you think they are aliens, but take my word for it, you're going to look for aliens in vain. They are humans who are modified because of wickedness. They are so evil that they are power. Their instinct is to access power and destroy themselves, because they have a lot of hatred. There's a latency of hatred coming with a type of people living in the world, whether they are children. My problem may include suspecting even little babies being really, really, really wicked. Children are supposed to be able, but are supposed to be innocent. But if you see what children are doing on the street today, some children are definitely aliens, because they are so wicked. They don't behave like children at all. They murder people. They carry guns. In America, they shoot fellow children with guns. These are children. They kill each other in the UK in parks. Read the newspapers. Go online. See what the children do online. This is not the society we need. We face extinction. If you talk about Extinction Rebellion, then rebel against evil. So education. If you're a child, if you have a parent, if your parent is an alien, then teach yourself how to be human. Because that is the medicine of healing the alien toxicity which you find in your mother, in your father. These people are evil. If they are evil, some people are so evil that you can not even acknowledge and recognize that. I'm not talking about perfection. People make mistakes. I do make mistakes. There is a difference between making mistake and being evil. Being evil means you have no sense of humanity left in you. There is no fingerprinting. There is no evidence that you are a human being. You are worse than a dog. You are worse than a cat. Cats and dogs are some of the best friends of humanity. Humanity, when they embrace and they become evil, they become so dangerous. Today on our streets, if you are running away from something, you are running away from a human being. In Africa, hiding behind civil wars, hiding behind terrorism, hiding behind military dictatorship, you have people in power, you have people out of power who are so wicked that you cannot even know that they are human. Humans are not like that. So if you taught yourself to become non-human, re-educate yourself to become human. That is the message. That is what I mean by producing cultural economy. By learning to be human, valuing your life, valuing the life of other people. It's about respect. If you value something, you respect them, you protect them, you keep them, you honor them. We should honor our fathers and our mothers, our families, our friends. Let us be human. The wickedness you find in politics in the United Kingdom, destroying people, shutting down the public sector. I don't care about public sector. If we have the right people running the public sector or the private sector, we will have peace. But if we practice wickedness, there is no peace for the wicked, and there is no two-way around it. If you have hatred for yourself, if you have hatred for humanity, you are wicked. And there are so many wicked people in power. That is the problem. Whether you are in the Labour Party, the Conservative, the Liberal Democrat, Reform UK, DUP, Sinn Féin, if you are, politician in Wales or in Scotland, in England, in the United Kingdom, in America, if you see certain individuals in power in America, if you see some people in power in politics, in business, in commerce, even people who do not have wealth, there is an advent of wickedness going on, and we risk destroying humanity, even in Africa. It's not just in one country. It doesn't mean you are rich and you are a good person. No, you are good because you value humanity, you value your life, you value other people, you respect other people, and that is what I'm saying. That is the cultural economy. We must learn it. We must teach it. We must develop a curriculum in schools in Africa, in the developed world, in all the continents of the world. We need to regenerate culturally as a people who respect themselves, who aim to do people. You have to take care of yourself, take care of your family, friends, your community. Look after your world, including looking after the environment. We do everything in vain unless we begin respecting humanity. Because everything, even trees, waters, the clouds, the heaven, rain, whatever wealth we have or we may not have is in vain. We own wealth. We own or even exercise medical system, economic system, environmental system in vain if we don't take care of our lives, if we don't take care of other people. I am so happy I was able to talk in this term and share these ideas with you. Leave a comment below if you like what I'm talking about. Leave a comment below if you understand what I'm talking about. Leave a comment below if you don't understand what I'm talking about. If you like it, if you don't like it, somebody may or may not like it. You don't need to like something. You have to value So what is right, what is useful, what is acceptable, and that is what we need to do. We cannot live like wild animals. We cannot deceive ourselves. And this is the right thing to do. We have to have a sense of right and wrong, especially if we are children, especially if we are youth. You don't think you behave like a stupid person, including me. I'm not talking about anybody, I'm talking about me first. I've done so many stupid things. I do very many stupid things on a daily basis, and I don't like it. And that's what I'm talking about, because we are all in this together. We have to do right things. Always. You make mistake, that is fine. You do wrong thing, that is okay. But you need to know it is wrong. If you're doing the right thing, you should also know. That is education, 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 culture, 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 humanity, 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 value, value, value. Right, doing the right thing, being good to yourself, being good to other people, making effort to eat healthy food, to work so hard. You need to provide sustenance for your family, for yourself. If you're a child, start thinking work, work, work. Technology is taking work away. We know that we need to work with our local leaders so that as technology comes, we don't weaponize technology because of wickedness. We humanize technology so that technology works for humanity. And technology doesn't work to destroy humanity, which risks we are now taking through with state, with big businesses. We are using technology to destroy humanity, the hatred, the wickedness. This is what I'm talking about. You only need one wicked person with so much power to destroy the earth totally, and we risk that. I saw different politicians with their attitude. There is a group of individuals who are so weird. They are called right-wing extremists in terms of politics. They are here, alive and kicking. These people look like aliens. The way they think, the way they lie, the way they practice wickedness, the way they create fear and terror. Even in the rest, the political culture is falling apart because of fear. These people are so feared. They are so crafty. They are so wicked. They twist information. They can confuse the whole country to do dangerous things. I see it. And I'm glad I'm sharing this. Because when I say things like this and people listen, only one person listening and acknowledging it, that is a seed. A good seed shown to reproduce, to provide healing for our broken societies. Children are dying. People are committing suicide. I speak to them and I am a professional advisor. In case you want to know, I provide advice professionally. And I speak to people, advising them, grown adults in the United Kingdom cry on the phone. They tell me they are considering committing suicide. It's a safeguarding issue. Leave a comment below if you know anything about safeguarding. If you are a frontline worker, if you speak to people advising them, supporting them, people cry to you. You go to the hospital is shutting down. Bad influence, bad political ideology, wickedness, evil approach to politics, orchestrated by individuals who are so evil that they don't qualify to be humans anymore. If you no longer have the capacity to learn to exist as a human being, you are fired. And being fired should be a common practice. Firing people who are no longer humans. We need leadership. We need people with courage to speak the truth. You see, speak no evil, see no evil, hear no evil. Stay tuned, continue watching. I'm talking about work, I'm talking about pay, I'm talking about national minimum wage in the United Kingdom. That is what we are trying to do. Leave a comment below. Thank you so much for your help in supporting this material platform. We may be small, we may be little, but we are big. in ideas. We are big in our passion for humanity. We are determined to do what is right, and we will win. And that is what we have decided to do in our life. People who listen to this material, you have to think. Either you are with us or you are against us, and we will fight. We will win. We will do what is right. We lead by example, by doing the right thing, protecting humanity, our character, working so hard to learn how to be human, to do the right thing, to be good people. Stay tuned, continue watching. Thank you so much. So let us carry on looking at how payment works in terms of work in the United Kingdom. If you work for a living in the United Kingdom, you get paid. And there are laws which govern how people are paid in the United Kingdom. That's what I'm trying to talk about. I'm trying to look at them. There is something called the national minimum wage, which are paid in one way or the other. Continue watching this video, and also the other videos are recorded. So we are looking at workers age 21 or over entitled to standard rate of national minimum wage. In its distribution, in its sector, we have categories of payment: £8 and £20 and 20 pence per hour. We have £8 and 36 pence per hour. We have £9 and £10 and 18 per hour in different categories in different years, because years are changes, there are changes made annually for different wage packages, and pay rate of pay keep going up. But in my opinion, it is not going up enough to get the British people out of poverty, and that's why I'm looking through this material to make sure governments working with law and policies get the British people out of poverty by raising the level of minimum wage. We are looking at workers age 18 to 20 inclusive. We are looking at different elements of pay: £6 and 45 going up to £6 and 56 every year, and £6 and 83 pounds an hour, and £7 and 49 pence per hour. Currently we have £8 and 60. You comment below if younger people should be paid less or more, or the same with adults. I think they should be paid the same with adults, regardless what work is. Social justice. We are not robots, we are not machines, we are not wild animals. We don't give less money to children, to young people, people aged between 18 and 20, and inclusive of what? Inclusive probably of whatever. But I say, if you work for a living, if you are a child, you are required to work. You should be paid adequately to get you and your family out of poverty. Once and for all, we can do this. Britain is the 6th richest country, the 6th richest country in the world. There is no point us in Britain mentioning the P word. Poverty is unacceptable, is an error, is evidence of government's failure. And the new Labour government should listen to this. If there is any credit to this government, it has to really fight tooth and nail to raise the level of the minimum wage. You see, the policy of taxation should be, the government cannot provide public sector without tax. I know the Labour Party says they're going to make British people pay taxes. The taxes should be fair. People who are wealthier should be taxed more. Unless the government can negotiate with multimillionaires and multimillionaires to voluntarily pay taxes. And once, if taxes are paid, they should be implemented effectively. You see, the right people in power, whether you are in the Labour Party, the first priority, before even talk about money, we have to learn how to be good politicians. We can be good politicians culturally. Developmentally, we are already successful, but culturally, we are not. Because we are neglecting humanity. To repeat this point, to make sure that policy and practice should encompass a human value, a moral consideration, cultural economy. And so to speak, with the new Labour government, they should now pay attention to eradicating wealth in the British. They should put the foundation now, the cultural foundation. They should connect with communities, families, to support communities and families to learn how to be responsible citizens. We cannot be a responsible citizen if we do the wrong things. We cannot take knife and take life. By starving people, you are a child, you are 10 years, you are already committing murder. Everything society gives you is weaponized because of human wrong. This is a lot of responsibilities involving the UK government, but also other leaders within the religious community, within the business community. You cannot allow food poverty to get out of control in Britain. I mean, we need to eat healthy food. The government must work with private companies because, you see, we have already privatized the economy. It is unlikely nationalization is going to be the right policy. Educating private investors culturally is a major challenge, but it has to be considered as part of the package of running the economy. Because, you see, we cannot have wicked traders producing food, producing poisonous food. There is a sense now where going into the supermarket is almost impossible because of fear. You go to a shop, you don't trust producers of food because there is a lot of corruption. You don't know what you are going to be fed at the supermarket. You don't know what is being included in the food. If you are eating meat, you are probably eating human meat. The meat of something you wouldn't otherwise eat. Something could be toxic included in the food to make money. So the people who run supermarkets, who produce food, should be good people. Go to the hospital. Your life is in the hands of a medical doctor. If that medical doctor is an alien. We have heard stories of nurses killing children. Nurses, medical workers, people you are supposed to trust. You go to lawyers, you go to the police, to the military. You run there for them to protect you. They are monsters. There is no sense of care. We are society producing horror experience, horror stories. And that is what we are now risking in our society. Seeing the chaos with the conservative government. And we are waiting to see if the Labour Party is going to do differently. If not, then we have to stop and think again. I don't expect change quickly because it took decades to destroy our civilization. And we live in denial. We pretend to be good people, but we are evil. We are the devil incarnate. All of us are responsible, including me. And my definition of being a good person is being aware the difference between being human and being monsters. You don't care about your life. You only think about wealth, power, and influence. You want glory over peace, over joy. You want war. Look at the Middle East, the chaos in the Middle East within Israel and the Arabs. It's affecting Britain, the political landscape of the chaos in the UK. You look at Reform UK. Who thinks in ways they only think that every problem created in Britain are created by foreigners. Some of these people are foreigners. They hide behind illegal immigrants. How many illegal immigrants are in the UK? They are illegal because of the law set by the government. If the government was actually sensible, there would not even be illegal immigrants. People come here because they are in trouble. If they are criminals, then the main criminal laws should actually address people coming into this country not because of their immigrants. Criminalizing immigration is wrong. It's a policy which should be scrapped by every government, especially the Conservative Party, especially Reform UK. You cannot criminalize people who come into your country. It is rude. It is inconsistent with the idea of civilization. It is uncivil. People visiting your country, you call them criminals. What kind of human being are you? You have no respect for yourself. You have no respect for immigrants. You don't call immigrants criminals. They are not criminals. They are coming here. They are running away from problems. Some of the problem is created by Britain because of an evil system produced in Britain, system of colonialism. System of neo-colonialism. You talk of deporting immigrants, illegal immigrants to Rwanda. Why do you export them to Rwanda? Are they from Rwanda? Why do you export your problem into Africa? Is Africa your continent? Is Rwanda Britain? I mean, are you turning Rwanda into your country? It is a form of abuse. It's a form of neo-colonialism. It's a form of evil by the British government to the British people. They are actually abusing British people. They are abusing foreigners. They are abusing Africans. If they abuse Africans, if they abuse the people they refer to as illegal immigrants, they are actually evil. They are going to abuse the British people. We who live in poverty. The British government has failed to eradicate poverty in Britain. And they are so evil. They are thieves. They are murderers. They are barbarians who provide excuses. They are supposed to solve the issue of poverty, the issue of peace in Britain. Do not hide behind illegal immigration. You see, giving excuses, distorting truth, and hiding behind ridiculousness. Immigrants do not create problems other than more than the British people. If immigrants create problems to do with poverty, they are no different from the British people. And that is not the case. The case occurs because the government is supposed to run the country. The government has failed. And it is blaming foreigners. And the kind of abuse given to foreigners who are branded as illegal immigrants is evidence of how wicked, how evil the British government is. And that is nothing to do with the British government. It's the people who run the government which makes the British government evil. And if you think Britain and their government are evil, go to other countries, including in Africa, including in Rwanda. The evil is spreading out. There is a coalition of evil individuals producing evil governments across the globe. And they are giving globalization a bad name because of their wickedness. Wickedness has been globalized under the template of globalization. And we have to really check them out. And introduce the doctrine and the system of cultural economy. Respect. Valuing humanity. Valuing the things owned and produced and owned by humanity, such as wealth, such as power. It's about respect. It's about valuing. I mean, learning how to be human. This is not too complicated unless it is. Unless we are gone astray, we are in an age of darkness instead of being civil. And this is the discussion here. If you comment below, let me know. Going forward, I'm so excited. The Labour Party actually won the election and they won the landslide. But if you are British, if you are if you are an illegal immigrant living in the United Kingdom, and most of these illegal immigrants are from Africa anyway, or from Asia, or from East Europe. The people who are poor are hated in their country and also in Britain. We are so corrupt. Even poor people are developing hatred for poverty, for poor people. They hate themselves because of being poor. That is wrong. If you are poor, it doesn't mean you are less of a human than a rich person. Wealth does not really provide a measure of whether you are human or not. Wealth or poverty is excluded from determining whether a person is a valued human or not. If you're poor, if you are rich, you are the same in terms of being a human being. You are supposed to be a human being by valuing your life. There are a lot of rich people, multimillionaires and multi-billionaires, who now, in the process of trying to make more money, more wealth, because they love wealth, they love money so much that they don't even neglect their lives. There are multimillionaires, multi-billionaires. When you ask to choose between their life and choosing their wealth, they will choose their wealth. If you kill them and save their money, they are going to be happy, resting in chaos rather than resting in peace. You cannot value other things, whether it is wealth, whether it is power, whether it is glory. You cannot value it, more than your life. Especially the multi-billionaires, Some people can commit suicide to save their wealth. I mean, what kind of madness is that? I mean, you can do that to yourself. And I'm not talking about the rich. I'm talking about poor people as well. Because you see, you are so poor, you want to commit suicide. Because you value poverty more than your life. You value riches more than your life. You die because you want to protect your wealth. You die because you are running away from poverty. Both is wrong for rich and poor because we have neglected humanity. We need to be re-educated by re-accessing our cultural economic system and processes to learn respect, to learn valuing of humanity. Going forward, stay tuned, continue watching. Thank you so much. So let us continue looking at pay in the United Kingdom, looking at pay, the national minimum wage in the United Kingdom, how it works. As much as possible, leave a comment below, subscribe to this channel. If you haven't subscribed, leave a comment below, click notification bell, click like. If you watch this video, watch with the rest of the videos in this series, in the other series. There are actually a train of knowledge, information running across the videos. Thank you so much for being part of this economy. We are small as a project, and we're making progress. Thank you so much. We're looking in the United Kingdom about how pay works. In terms of employment, in terms of law and policy. So we are looking at workers aged 16 and 17. How their payment structure is classified annually, and in terms of age, demography, whatever you may talk about. We're talking, for example, apprentices, under 19 years or 19 and over, in the first year of apprenticeship, in the respective years, you have £4.15. This is the rate of pay. You have £4.30, £4.81, £5.21, and currently, in the respective years, you got £6.40. If you come below, this is how much apprentices should be paid, mostly young people. I think they should be paid more, double or even triple it, because they do work, they do training. They are in British, they are in Britain, and Britain is a rich nation. Abusing people who work for a living, people who even live without, who are sick, who may not be working, is wrong. It's evidence of cultural failure, disrespect, which should be changed. We're looking at workers who do not qualify for the full rate of national minimum wage. If you comment below, let me know what you think. If you want to know one thing or another involving what I'm talking about, visit our website gov.uk and all the other respective websites. ACAS, ACAS is an early conciliation body in the United Kingdom in the process of making claims or producing processes of complaints about conditions involving work, including pay. So let's look at workers aged 16 and or 17 and over. We are looking at people of compulsory school age qualifying for the national minimum wage. We're looking at workers, and the workers who cannot qualify for the national minimum wage until they have reached the school leaving age. We can also read more about school leaving age on gov.uk. Here on the word gov.uk, that is the government website in the United Kingdom. You can check in your country for your website, the website of your government. It's most likely to be similar, but may not be the same. So from the 1st of October 2010, a worker aged 18 to 20 years inclusive is entitled to the reduced rate of national minimum wage at the full rate of reaching their 21st birthday. There are special rules for apprentices. You can check this online. Before the 1st of October 2010, a worker aged 18 to 21 inclusive was entitled to the reduced rate of national minimum wage. If you comment below, let me know your thoughts. When minimum wages are reduced, meaning people are getting poorer without more. That is, in my opinion, I think it is wrong. I think it is go up, not down. On reaching their 22nd birthday, they became entitled to the full rate of the national minimum wage. The full rate of national minimum wage we have discussed within the previous video. And also to say, there, in terms of practice, I would suggest for the government to review, to put it up so that it begin the process of getting the British people out of power, out of poverty, because the chronic problem in the United Kingdom is low pay and poor condition of work, including apprenticeship infrastructure in the UK. We are going to look at how to calculate the workers' current hourly pay to compare it to the national minimum wage. And one more thing about employment law is to kind of like make it less complicated, because the complexity means there's a problem with the legal system, also with the process, because people can be abused. You talk about legal right, you cannot access the law because of the complexity of the system. Then you're excluded from justice, which is inconsistent or contrary to democracy. as we understand it, also freedom. You cannot be free if the law turns into an instrument of oppression because of its flexibility, complexity especially. And also, if the Labour Party is anything to speak about, then they should reintroduce legal aid, including to cover issues of employment. Otherwise, you have private companies who will turn employment into a project of abuse, of slavery. And that is taking us back in time. If we want to be civil and democratic and free, then we begin to have to move away from condition of servitude, of slavery, into people of liberty. And this is the problem with our employment contract, or also with statutory policy, including our employment rights and obligations. Leave a comment below, let me know what your thoughts. So let us see whether the worker's pay is in line with the national minimum wage, in which case the worker's pay must be calculated in a particular way. Various specific components of the worker's pay do count towards the national minimum wage. Stay tuned, continue watching. The other components must be excluded as they do not count towards national minimum pay. Leave a comment below, stay tuned, continue watching. Let us also look at the purposes of the national minimum wage, and for that, it is necessary, therefore, first to calculate the client's pay of a pay reference period. Leave a comment below if you know anything about pay reference period. So, period referencing your pay, providing relevance, the relevance period when you are in the period of where you might or might not be paid. Once the client's pay reference period has been determined, we discussed it in previous video. Leave a comment below, you can read more about it online. The following amount should be added together. All the money paid by the employer to the worker in the pay reference period, except those items listed as not counting as national minimum pay, national minimum wage pay, and any money paid by the employer to the worker in the following pay reference period, but relating to the pay reference period in question. Stay tuned, continue watching. Leave a comment below, let me know your feedback. For example, for a worker paid weekly who has worked some overtime in week A, but who is not actually paid for the overtime until week B, the overtime payment will count towards pay for week A. Stay tuned, continue watching. Thank you so much for being part of this economy, on this platform. The overtime payment is not received until week C. It will not count toward pay in the week A or week B. This is to encourage employers to pay overtime and bonuses for workers quickly. If they do not, the worker will still receive the overtime or bonus pay, but it will not be included when their national minimum wage pay is calculated. Leave a comment below, let me know in your feedback what you think. This means that their hourly pay, hourly rate of pay, this means that their hourly rate of pay to be compared to the national minimum wage will be lower, because it will not include the overtime or bonus pay. Leave a comment below, stay tuned, continue watching. Thank you so much. So it is important to note that all money payments made to the worker count towards national minimum pay, except those not counted as pay. This means that the worker's pay to be compared to the national minimum wage is their gross pay. It therefore includes income tax and national insurance contributions, productivity bonuses, profit-related pay, and other forms of performance or incentive pay. It therefore includes income tax and national insurance contributions, productivity bonuses, profit-related pay, and other forms of performance or incentive pay. This will therefore all be taken into account when calculating national minimum wage pay. For a step-by-step summary of how to calculate national minimum pay, see Appendix 1 online. As always, consider visiting Gov.uk, which is a government website in the United Kingdom. Regardless where you are in the world, whether you're in the UK or out of the United Kingdom, you can use the national minimum wage calculator on Gov.uk. Very useful tool to check whether your client or yourself or somebody you are responsible for is being paid the national minimum wage. What shouldn't be included when working out national minimum wage pay? Stay tuned, continue watching. When you work out the national minimum wage pay, you should start with the gross pay before income tax or national insurance is deducted. We talk about net pay. There are certain elements of pay, certain payments made to the worker above basic pay, certain deduction from pay, and certain payments made by the worker to the employer, which do not count toward national minimum wage pay. You need to check to see if the worker is receiving or having deducted any of these elements. If they are receiving any of the designated payments, then this must be taken off their gross pay, so that they are not counted towards national minimum wage pay. Leave a comment below, stay tuned. Thank you so much. So if any deductions are being made from their pay, they must be added back into their gross pay, as if they are not being deducted in the first place. Stay tuned, continue watching. Give me back some feedback. Leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts. We are looking at elements of pay that don't count as national minimum pay, national minimum wage pay, so to speak. So let's look at some elements of pay and benefits in kind, which don't necessarily count towards national minimum wage pay. When you work out your national minimum wage pay, you should take off any of the following from your gross pay. They talk about empowerment, DIY, do it yourself. For example, unless you can access the help of a professional, sometimes, generally you're supposed to get most support for free from advisors, but a lot of the time these organizations lack resources, so they may not be in a position to help, even if they want to, because they have to be funded. And if the government, especially the Labour Party, which just came to power recently, 2 days ago, if they care a lot to start supporting these organizations, which actually support people who are in need of advice, free advice, then they should consider how to fund these organizations. So we look at payments relating to the previous pay reference period to avoid this being counted twice. For a salaried hours worker, only payments for hours when if they are absent from work, if their pay for these hours is less than their normal rate of pay. For example, if they receive sick pay, holiday pay, maternity pay, and other special leave pay at less than the normal rate. Stay tuned, continue watching. These payments are only subtracted if they are made at less than the normal rate. If they are paid at the normal rate, they do not count toward the national minimum wage pay and should not be subtracted. Stay tuned, continue watching. For a worker who is not on not a salary hour worker, payment for hours when they are absent from work, for example, sick pay, holiday pay, maternity pay, or is an absence, do not count toward national minimum wage pay and should therefore be subtracted from gross pay, whether or not they are paid at the same rate as their normal rate of pay. Any overtime or shift premium, including those for output work, any special allowance, for example, for dangerous work, performing special duties, standby, or on-call payments, and social hours payment for attendance at work for a full week, and London waiting and late payment is consolidated into standard pay, in which case it does count towards national minimum wage pay, performance or incentive pay, which may or may not count towards national minimum wage pay, reimbursement of expenses, for example, business travel or subsistence expenses, benefits in kind given by the employer to the worker, for example, meals or a company car, because they are not amounts of money. So looking at special rules applying to accommodation, for example, vouchers, stamps, or similar documents exchangeable for money, goods, or services, for example, luncheon voucher. And therefore also including monies paid by way of a loan or advance of wages. This lump sum will not count as pay. Looking at social rules, where special rules apply to installments by which a loan or advance is repaid in the pension or other payment relating to the worker's retirement or loss of job, such as golden handshake and handshake payments. Some colorful words here or terminology in terms of pay, and in the comment below let me know your thoughts, and any compensation payment ordered by a court or employment tribunal, or a settlement of a claim in a redundant payment, whether statutory or contractual, any payment which is an award under a suggestion scheme, tips and gratuity which are voluntarily given direct to a worker, such as a waiter, or are not paid through the payroll. Stay tuned, continue watching. Thank you so much. Stay tuned, continue watching. Let us look at a deduction from pay. We don't count when you work out a national minimum wage pay. The employers are entitled to make certain deduction from the worker's gross pay. Note that for any deduction, an employer is only entitled to make deduction if it is allowed under the Employment Rights Act 1996. More about deductions when which an employer can make under the Employment Rights Act. We talk about statutory rights and obligation to employer in the situation of pay in terms of work in the United Kingdom. Once you have calculated the worker's total pay, you must add any of the following deduction which the employer is allowed to make to be gross pay figure to arrive at the pay figure to be compared with national minimum wage pay, and such as deductions requested by the worker, for example, for union subscription or workers' pensions contribution, deductions related to the worker's misconduct, deductions are made to recover repayment installments in respect of loan or advance of wages, deduction on account of the purchase of the company shares or other securities by the worker, deductions to recover an accidental overpayment of wages, deduction in respect of optional goods or services supplied by the employer to the worker. For example, if you are in a situation where an employer has paid for non-compulsory training for a client, where a client might need to pay it back in some situations, such as leaving the job within 2 years. In this case, you should add any training fees deducted from the client's pay back onto their gross pay when working out their national minimum wage pay. If you are in a situation where you are paid your employer directly for any of these things, you won't show as deduction on your pay slip. You will still need to add this back onto your client's gross pay figure to arrive at a pay figure to be compared with your national minimum wage pay. So your client should have receipt from their employer for these amounts. Stay tuned, continue watching. Thank you so much. We are looking at what should be included when working out national minimum wage pay, and therefore you can look more online to read more about this. There are certain elements of pay in addition to basic pay, certain deductions from pay, and certain payments made by the worker to the employer, which you count when you work out a national minimum wage pay. You will need to check if your client is receiving paying or having deducted any of these elements of pay additional to basic pay that do count towards national minimum wage pay. Stay tuned, continue watching. In addition to a worker's basic pay, the following elements of pay counts toward national minimum wage pay: incentive, merit, or performance-related pay, including payment relating to piecework and sales commissions, bonus payments, and any special allowance, for example, for dangerous work, performing special duties, standby or non-call payments, and social hours payments, and London waiting if the payment is consolidated into standard pay. If it is not consolidated, it does not count towards national minimum pay deductions. So some tips also, and gratuities, for example, if they are paid through the payroll. Deduction made by the employer, which they reduce the amount for working out national minimum wage pay. Stay tuned, continue watching. So once you have calculated the worker's gross pay, where the employer has made any of the following deduction, you calculate the national minimum pay after the deduction has been made. In the following situations, deduction made by the employer for certain expenses connected with work, for example, for meals provided or where the worker has had to purchase tools or other equipment for their work, such as buttons or thread, the cost of buying or laundering protective clothing, or the cost of supplying power for machinery to do work, and deductions made by the employer for living accommodation provided to the worker. The regulations specify an amount which is taken into account when an employer makes deductions from pay for accommodation. If the amount the employer deducts is greater than the specified amount, you need to calculate the difference between the amount of the deduction and the specified amount. The workers' national minimum wage pay is then calculated after this excess figure has been deducted. Stay tuned, continue watching. So also deductions made by the employer in respect of goods or services your client must buy to do their job. For example, if your client must do specific training to do their job, you will need to work out their national minimum wage pay based on their gross pay after training fees have been taken off. Stay tuned, continue watching, and leave a comment below. Let me know what you are thinking. If your client has paid their employer directly for any of these things, they won't show a deduction on their pay slip. You will need to take this off your client's gross pay figure to work out their national minimum wage pay. So your client should have receipts from their employer for these amounts. For example, if your client is paid £100 a week and pays their employer £10 a week for their uniform, you should include the £10 when working out their national minimum wage pay. Their national minimum wage pay should be £90 a week. Stay tuned, continue watching. Thank you so much. We're looking at payment of for accommodation, payment for living accommodation for national minimum wage purposes are treated in the same way whether the employer makes deduction for the worker's pay or the worker makes a payment to the employer. Accommodation is regarded as living accommodation for national minimum wage purposes when it provides each worker with access to and use of a bed, even if the bed is in a shared room, and the washing facilities these may be shared and must afford some degree of privacy, and toilet facilities these may be shared but must afford some degree of privacy. Stay tuned, continue watching. We are looking at the national minimum wage regulation specifying a maximum amount of accommodation that is allowed when calculating the national minimum wage pay. There is a set maximum amount for each day that accommodation is provided. Let us look at the following table giving the maximum daily accommodation. Stay tuned, continue watching. Thank you so much. When you look, for example, from one period to another, on the 1st of April 2019, from the 1st of April 2020, from the 1st of April 2021, 2022, 2022, from the also different categorization. You're looking at £7.55, £8.20, £8.36, £8.70, £9.10 in 2022 from the 1st of April, and respectively. The specified allowance for accommodation is calculated by multiplying the number of days in the pay reference period for which accommodation is provided by the maximum daily accommodation allowance. Leave a comment below. Stay tuned, continue watching. So a worker works 28 hours per week but did not have accommodation provided on one day in that week. From the 1st of April 2023, the specified accommodation allowance for that week is therefore 6 multiplied by £9.10, which equals £54.60. Stay tuned, continue watching. Leave a comment below. Thank you so much. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't subscribed. Click like, click notification bell. Thank you so much. Watching the video, watch and share with family and friends. Subscription is free. You don't pay for it, and it takes seconds. Clicking on a button, a subscribe button, is so easy and it is free. Watch this video and the rest of the other videos involving the series, this project in the series. If the employer deducts an amount from the worker's wages for accommodation in amount above the maximum amount the employer is allowed to deduct for accommodation allowance, must be taken into account when calculating the worker's national minimum wage pay. Deductions made for living accommodation up to the specified allowance are not taken into account when calculating the national minimum wage pay. Thank you so much. Stay tuned. Continue watching. A worker is paid £130 per week gross, and their employer deducts £75 from these for accommodation. From the 1st of April 2024, the difference between the maximum amount the employer is allowed to deduct, which is £7 times £9.99, it equals to £69.93, and the amount actually deducted is £75, is £5.07. This excess amount above the maximum allowance is subtracted from the worker's gross pay when calculating if they are being paid the national minimum wage. Stay tuned, continue watching, leave a comment below. So in this example, you should subtract £5.07. Stay tuned, continue watching. So the excess figure from £130, the worker's gross pay. If the worker makes a payment to the employer from their wages for accommodation, only the amount paid in excess of the maximum amount the employer is allowed to charge for accommodation allowance are taken into account when calculating the worker's national minimum wage pay. Stay tuned, continue watching. Thank you so much. Leave a comment below, let me know your thoughts. Subscribing to this channel, clicking notification bell, clicking like, watching this video, sharing with family and friends, subscription being free. Thank you so much. A worker earns £130 a week gross and makes a payment to their employer of £75 per week for accommodation. From the 1st of April 2024, the difference between the maximum amount the employer is allowed to charge, which is 7 times £9.99, equals £69.92, and the amount actually paid being £75 is actually £5.07. These expenses, this excess amount above the maximum amount the employer is allowed to charge, is subtracted from the worker's gross pay when calculating if they are being paid at the national minimum wage. So in this example, you should subtract £5.07, the excess figure, from £130, the worker's gross pay. Stay tuned, continue watching. If a worker contributes toward the cost of gas and or electricity and the accommodation provided by their employer, these contributions are classed as payments for living accommodation for national minimum wage purposes and must be taken into account when calculating the maximum allowance. The Court of Appeal held that Butlins had acted unlawfully when it charged workers for gas and electricity on top of the full accommodation allowance. You can check this information online. This additional deduction had meant that the workers' pay fell below the national minimum wage. If the worker is provided with accommodation by an employer but no charge is made for the accommodation and no deduction is made from the worker's pay, the provision of the accommodation is taken into account. Thank you so much. When calculating the worker's pay in terms of national minimum wage pay, this means that the specified allowance and of accommodation is added to the worker's pay so that their pay to be compared to the national minimum wage is their pay after the set amount has been added. Stay tuned, continue watching. Thank you so much. From the 1st October 2007, no reduction may be made for deductions by all payments to a local housing authority, registered social landlord, or in England and Wales. In England alone, a private registered provider of social housing in respect of the provision of accommodation. This exemption does not apply where there is a connection between the provision of accommodation and the employment with the relevant landlord. Stay tuned, continue watching. Thank you so much. So the accommodation offset rules do not apply to higher and further education institutions if they provide accommodation for a student who is studying full-time with them and the student works part-time for them. This means that no reduction should be made from the student's total pay because of the rent they pay to the institution. There are special rules for calculating accommodation allowance for workers who are absent from work with pay, for example, on sick leave or maternity leave. The specified allowance for accommodation is adjusted by multiplying the allowance by the number of hours actually worked by the worker during the pay reference period and dividing the total by the number of hours the worker would have worked if they had not been absent. Further details about the accommodation offset are available from the gov.uk website, www.gov.uk. Next time we are going to look at more aspect of pay in the United Kingdom. Thank you so much for attending today. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't subscribed. Click like, click notification bell, leave comments as much as you like participating in this channel, in this program, and also watching this video. Watch with the rest of the video. Also share it with family and friends. Thank you so much. See you in the next one. Thank you. Bye bye. Stay tuned, continue watching.
Yellow banga,